Hi everyone, Stepan here. I'm going to play a training game, and before I start I would like to thank you again for helping me reach 100,000 subscribers. I mean, that sounds completely unreal and I just don't know what to say. When I started, I had no hopes of reaching those numbers so quickly. I actually had no plans for subscriber numbers, and this is just insane. Thank you all. I'm going to play Caro-Kann, obviously, and hopefully the game goes well. I mean, thank you. Just thank you again. He's playing the two knights. I'm expecting h3 here. My last opponent took on d5, which is not good, because then he's stuck with a knight on c3 for the rest of the game after d4, and yeah, this is the best way to play. Queen takes and e6. And in one of my tournament games, one of my opponents surprised me with queen g3, but I'm ready for that move now. Okay, so d4. I can take and play knight d7. That's the easiest way to play. I don't really want to allow e5 to be on the board. If he takes with the queen, then I play knight f6. If he takes with the knight, then I play knight d7. Why did he take with the queen? Well, after knight takes, then I have to play knight d7 to be able to play knight f6, but now I can just play knight f6. So here I think I'm already close to equal, if not equal, because he has to move the queen again. So I basically got a tempo for not much for my opponent. I don't know what he has here for the tempo. This is unreasonable, I'm going to say, taking with the queen. He could play, yeah, he could play bishop to g5 next, but yeah, I'm just in time to develop all of my pieces. I'm going to play bishop e7 here to be able to break the pin. And then I'm going to play knight d7. I'm expecting him to castle kingside or play bishop g5. And then I play c5 when b7 is defended and try to break the center. Okay, I'll just castle here. He has the bishop pair, but I don't think I'm in any trouble here. Queen b6 attacks two pawns. What does he do about that? If he plays knight a4, I can take on d4. If he plays rook d1, I can take on b2. If he plays bishop f6, I play bishop f6. That seems good. I want to put pressure on him as early as possible. I may even take on f6 with the knight to prevent queen e4 from being annoying and hanging any mates on h7. I don't really want to play h6 or g6 unless it's completely forced. I don't know, he could play knight e2. He could play knight e2. But against knight e2 I can play c5 and just start breaking his weak center. Okay, I don't really want to take on b2. c5 is probably correct. c5, and he can play c3. I can take. He takes with the pawn, otherwise knight e5 comes. Okay, I'm going to play c5. I think c5 is the correct way to play here because I want to get my rooks to d8 and c8. I want to open up the c file. There are no threats to my king yet. Again, he really shouldn't take because I will have knight e5 in the future. So probably here, if he takes on f6, I'm going to take with the bishop just to increase the pressure on his position, because then I could be able to take on b2 after I take on d4, and then after rook b1 I have queen d4, rook b7, bishop c5, knight c5 probably, or knight e5. So far my time management is good. I'm 2 minutes ahead on the clock, or 1 minute. So far so good. By the way, a lot of you have been asking me about the English opening and about the rest of the opening series. So the opening series, the d4 opening series is almost done. I have one more video to finish the Chigorin, then I have the Old Indian, the Blackburn, the Colle, the Torre, and that's it. Then I do the English, and after the English is done, I'm gonna finish the e4 series. What do I want to take with? I want to take with the bishop so that I keep the option of knight e5, but then again he could play after knight c5. What does he do? Bishop c4? Knight c5, bishop c4. I don't want to allow his bishop to b3, so I think I'm gonna take with the bishop to put some pressure on f2. Luckily his knight is not on c3. If he does play knight c3, then I have knight e5. So queen e4 is prevented for the moment, knight c3 is prevented for the moment. Against rook d1 I go knight e5. So he should probably play bishop f4 here. Wow, he doesn't. Okay. So what's the plan after knight e5? Because I also have queen c7 ideas. Okay, knight e5. He moves the queen where? The only squares I can see are e2 and d1. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to play knight e5. I don't think he has bishop h7. Okay, let's get rid of this bishop. It's annoying. And then should I play rook d8? I don't think I should, because it's going to be pinned. If he takes with the pawn, well, he could take on f6. Could he take on f6? No, he cannot take on f6, because I have knight f4. And then I take on h3. Okay, takes with the queen. If I play rook d8, where does he move his queen? And what do I do with my knight in that case? If I go rook d8, he probably plays queen f3 to keep defending the g3 knight. I kind of like knight d5 more. Knight d5 to make sure there are no pins. with the idea of knight b4. And queen c7. Okay, I like knight d5. If he plays c4, I play knight b4. I'm not hanging any mates yet. There's nothing much going on for him, I think. I didn't see that. I didn't see 94. Why didn't I see 94? Do I have to trade bishops now? I think I have to trade bishops with bishop e7. I'm definitely not giving up my bishop. Okay, bishop e7 it is. I mean, my knight is not bad on e7. I have rook d8 coming in. If he plays c4, then I take on g5, knight g5, and knight f6, defend h7, and I have rook d8. So yeah, I missed knight e4, but unless he queens his queenside pawn majority, he shouldn't have any practical advantage. And he's still a long way from doing that. So yeah, to come back to the opening series, the English will start before the end of February, and the English series as well as finishing the E4 series will be done before the end of March. And then after that, I have Reti, King's Indian Attack, and Nimzo Larsen, which are going to be, well, basically intertwined. Okay, so knight g6 is probably forced. And then h4, and then h6 should be okay. No, but against h6... he doesn't have knight e6 because I take with the queen. Okay. He would have to play rook e1 first, but then I have time for what? I don't know. I don't like this because my structure is very loose and he has knight e6 ideas. If I play h6 here, knight e6, queen e6 doesn't work. If I play h6, knight f7, king f7 doesn't work. So I don't think he can take on e6 or on f7 against h6. So I'm going to play h6. I think he should have played rook e1 just to prevent h6, because then knight e6, f e6, queen g6. Okay, he goes back. Let's get my rook to d8. That has to be correct. This is the best square for my rook, and I have to challenge the d file. The question is, if he plays rook d1, can I take and take on b2? Or do I take and play rook d8? And then rook takes queen b7. Yeah, it should not do that. So now I have to double my rooks. If I play rook d5, he plays c4. I don't have rook d2, so rook d7 seems to be the most sensible. If knight e5, then I have to take, but that's okay, because then I have rook d2 ideas. Now his pawn majority is moving, which is not good, and I don't really have any influence over the c file, because he has c4. But at least I'm controlling the d file, which has to mean something. And also, if his knight moves, I can play rook d2. And also, his knight doesn't have any squares except for e1. If he plays h4, h5, I have knight e7, knight f5. Okay, still controlling the d file. c3 is strange. c3 is strange. Because I have a double attack with queen a5. Queen a5, how can he defend? He can play queen c2. But that makes his queen worse. He probably played this to be able to play knight d4. So queen a5, queen c2. Can I go knight f4? I think I can, because then against knight e5 I have queen a5. Okay, I'm going to play queen a5, queen e5. Against knight e5 I have queen e5. So let's do this. And if queen c2, I'm considering knight f4. I should also consider rook c7, c4, b5. Because that seems annoying for him. It's funny that he has weaknesses and I don't. And he has a pawn majority and a better knight, because my knight is very strange on g6. If he plays knight d4, then I play queen c3, and if knight e6, yeah, knight e6, f e6, queen e6, check, rook f7, queen g6, and I lose a pawn. So that's not good. If I play e5, he plays knight f5. I play queen c3. How scary is knight f5? Can he get onto the dark squares? I don't think he can. So I'm gonna play e5. I don't think he has a lot after knight f5. or knight e6. On knight e6 or knight f5 I play queen c3. On knight e2 I play queen a2. On knight c2 I play queen c3. My e5 pawn is defended enough, my b7 pawn is defended, 7th rank is defended. The only problem is the knight on g6. I hate the knight on g6. And of course I would love to trade queens here after I take on c3, because then he doesn't have a pawn majority, so all endgames are better for me. It's not so much about being a pawn up, it's about white not having a lot of play, because I have the d-file. If you can hear something, it's my dog snoring. So yeah, I don't know. If I manage to sort out my knight, I should be better. And again, it's not about him going a pawn down, which he is. It's about piece activity and my knight being a tactical liability. Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't have a way to save the pawn, and if he doesn't play knight f5, he probably doesn't have enough activity to compensate. But then again, the knight on f5, what's it doing? I don't know. I had not considered this. So against rook e7, what does he do? He can check me. Rook e7, queen c8, king h7, and he is defending the c3 pawn, but he has to move the knight, and then I can probably take on a2. So I'm going to play rook e7. I just want to keep everything defended, because I'm constantly hanging something on e6 or on f7 or on g6. So now if he doesn't play rook c8, it should be simple. I've given up the d-file, but if I can win that pawn, that should be good. Also my rook is now defended. And there are no knight e6, queen e6 tricks, because on knight e6 I can now take with the rook. My god. My god, did I just miss that? How can he attack my pawn though? He doesn't have queen f8. He doesn't have queen g8. So rook c7 should be fine. So I didn't miss it. But it's still unpleasant. Okay, I'm gonna play rook c7. I don't think he has much. He doesn't have knight e7, he doesn't have queen e8, queen f8, he doesn't have queen g8. He's not mating me on g7. I'm just winning a clean pawn. It's not easy for him to move the rook away. Still, the knight on f5 is very annoying. It's a very annoying piece. And also after queen c3, e4 actually defends g7. So that should be good. Still, he cannot get to the g7 pawn. So I'm gonna take, defending my rook, unpinning my queen, playing for rook c8. Now where does the queen go after rook c8? I'm not sure, but it doesn't have a lot of squares. The queen can go to d7, which is annoying. But I can just play queen c7. I think that should be okay. Rook c8, queen d7, queen c7. He probably plays queen d3 there, and I play rook d1. I just need to prevent queen f8, because after h5 my knight has to move and queen f8 comes, so... Okay, I'm gonna play rook c8. I think that's best, just driving his queen away. After queen d7 I play queen c7. Okay, and now rook d8. Everything goes as planned for now. Now it's hard for him to stay on the diagonal, unless he plays queen b1. But then I will just move my king away from the light square diagonal. Okay. Let's play queen c6. Again, try to force a trade of queens. Force his queen to b1. And then maybe even have some e4 ideas to block the diagonal. Okay, queen b1. Now I move my king away, he plays h5, and I can go knight f4, threatening mate. Okay, where do I move my king? Probably to h8, so there are no checks on h6 or on e7. Okay, that should be okay. h5, knight f4, loses a pawn. My knight is such a stupid piece. Incredibly stupid on g6. His knight is so good. But my knight is going to be good on f4 too. Okay, knight f4, g3, no, f3. But then I have good ideas of checking him, so this should be okay. I'm gonna play knight f4. I can always play f6 to defend the diagonal. Now he wants to mate me on g7, but I don't think it works. Okay. f6 seems reasonable. I am gonna play f6 because I want to just keep the diagonal closed. And now I have knight e6, knight d4, which is finally some good squares for my knight. He wants to play rook d1 if I play queen d7 or queen c7. So I'm gonna play queen b6 to prevent rook c7 and to stop rook d1. Oh no, I just win. Queen takes c1. Oh, queen c1, knight e2. Okay. Oh, stupid. Yeah, okay. I almost didn't see that. Okay, so a blunder ended this game, unfortunately for my opponent. I think I'm still better. I don't know though. Maybe I'm not a lot better because his king is safer than mine. But okay, let's have a look at this game. Okay, the engine is not on now. Nice. Okay, so let's just go through the opening first. In this position, I don't think I've ever seen queen e4, and that's the main move. Wow. Okay, I so need to work on my openings. How can this be the main move? I'm sorry for misleading you at the start of the video. I had assumed that this is... And he plays queen f3. So the point is to transfer the queen to d3 and I guess castle queenside. Yeah, queen f3 has never been played. There's a specific idea behind this. Let's just have a look at it. Queen d3, knight bd7. Ah, okay. Okay, so now we are out of book. This is all equal. c5 should be good. Yeah. Maybe knight d5 is a mistake. Okay, and now he should be better. So where did I go wrong? So I got the light squared bishop. And then I'm not preventing knight e4. I think if I go rook d8, this is unpleasant for me because of queen f3. And I probably have to go bishop e7 now. So maybe I had no better options. Yeah, and here, if he doesn't play queen e4, if he plays rook e1, I don't know which rook, probably this rook, then I don't have h6 because he just takes. So I don't know what I would have done here. I probably would have played rook d8, and then the queen moves to e4, and then I have queen d4, and then h6. So probably something like this, and it should be equal. Well, unless I'm better. Because I take, he has to play knight f3 to prevent rook d2. Yeah, this should be equal. Okay. Okay, I'm going to analyze the game later on. Of course, without the engine, and I'm going to do a detailed analysis because it was interesting. And I unfortunately wasn't aware of queen e4, so I have to work on my two knights. Thank you for watching. Thank you again for helping me reach 100,000 subscribers. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Stay tuned for more chess.